G'day everyone, my name is Coolpilot and welcome back to another episode of the Pokemon Platinum Randomized Nuzlocke. And there's something special about this episode because it was recorded over a year ago. Yeah. The audio file has got corrupted a long time ago, which is what took this episode so long to get out. Originally, even back when I was still uploading videos, which I think the last video I uploaded was like October of last year. It was the Mailcraft videos. Even back then, I was kind of constantly putting it back on the back burner over and over again because the audio got corrupted. I forget when exactly. It was shortly after it got recorded, and I had done some changes or something on the computer. It's been so long now, I don't remember the details of what happened. But regardless, the audio was in terrible shape. There's some parts of it that I could have salvaged, but it's bad enough that I might as well just completely re-record, rather than just trying to leave in bits and pieces and then re-record around it. That gets too complicated, honestly. But obviously, not only do I have to re-record this audio, so all of this commentary for this episode will be post-commentary. You're not going to see my live reactions, which is a bit unfortunate because there's a couple interesting things that happen in this episode, and it's also going to be a little bit difficult to re-commentate some of the wandering around. And is this Jubilife City? I'm pretty sure it's Jubilife City. It's been over a year since I played Platinum now, so yes, Jubilife City. I need to remember that. God. So yeah, this is going to be a little bit difficult and a little unusual because normally I would never do post-commentary of the Nuzlocke series like this. But that's the only choice I have to do other than redoing it, which I don't want to do. I mean, spoiler alert, nothing bad happens, but given one of the fights I had to go through being such a surprise, I don't really want to redo that because then I would know exactly what to do, and that would kind of spoil the whole playthrough. So yeah, just re-commenting all this. Now, in terms of having episodes up in general, obviously I haven't had anything up since October. Yeah, there's been, as always, there's always a little bit of what causes me to stop producing episodes and stop posting stuff. Part of that is motivational, and just doing it, and just the troubles in trying to get myself to do it and do the work for it, especially right now when I'm currently burning up because it's like probably good 80 degrees or more in my room. It's because I have to turn the fan off in order to record because it's too noisy, and I also have to close the window because neighbors. So, and in case my grandfather takes the dog out, then I have to worry about that noise too. So it's hot in here. But it's, obviously just a summer issue, but it's just getting the motivation to do this can be difficult sometimes. But I do have a motivating factor coming up within a couple weeks. But I'll get to that in a second. The other issue is obviously the time, and I have been having to work a lot ever since I stopped updating videos back in around October, as it was when I recorded this episode. There had already not been an episode in a little while because of work again, but it's been especially bad since really the end of last year. October to December was relatively busy, and I was just trying to focus more on comic stuff and art, so that kind of got in the way. Since December, it's just been crazy. Not only because holidays season was very, very busy, but I also had a very much lower motivation during that time point because my grandmother was, I suppose you could say, sick. She had cancer. So, and she ended up dying in February, just as, business was starting to slow down. So motivation was lowered. And then a week after my grandmother died, about when I would have been starting to really feel up to and have the time to start recording again, a coworker of mine, his wife, they found out had cancer. Lots of cancer. problems going on. But because of that, he's been having to take, ever since February, he's been having to take a ton of days off because they're doing cancer treatments down in Seattle. And we're up on the border. It's like a 2.5 hour drive without traffic to get down there. And that's one way. So he's constantly taking multiple days off in the week. And on top of that, he ended up having to get, more recently had to start getting cataract surgery for his own eyes. So that's extra days that he had to have off. And I'm the only one left to pick up the slack because there's only 3 of us working on our department. And there's normally like about 100 hours to go around between the 3 of us. So the 2 other guys work 40, or the 2 guys, I should say, work 40 hours. They work full time. And I work 20, which is or around 20, which is what I want. That's how it's supposed to be split. But since he's having to take, so many days off every week, his hours are lowered, and those hours add on to mine. So I end up being closer to 40 hours every week, which means a lot more days worked, which means a lot more morning shifts, which means I'm a lot more tired. And the days I do have off, I'm getting up later and not having the energy to do things, and also having to take care of everything on those days. It's just been crazy, and it doesn't look like it's going to be improving for quite some time. So while I am going to be trying to make sure I get some videos made in between also working on comics and doing other stuff, which is still going to be difficult, the amount of videos that I'm going to be putting up is not going to be a huge number. I'm going to aim for 2 episodes a week. 1 episode of Pokemon Platinum a week, and 1 episode, and by the way, the Pokemon Platinum episodes will come up whenever during the week. And Pokemon Platinum is also going to be the one that's more, if I can't make 2 episodes a week, Pokemon Platinum is going to be the one I skip on for a week. Because the other one is actually going to have a specific day that it's going to consistently come out on. And that will be Splatoon 2. Because I'm going to be playing the last Splatoon 2. Might as well record some of it. And I'm going to fit with the name and to have a cool name for a series. I'm going to have Splatter Day Saturdays, so they're going to always come up on Saturday. Which is kind of funny because it's like I'm never going to have Saturday off, but they're also going to be recorded before Saturday every single week. So it's just going to come out that day. I have League on Saturdays when I have it off, and if I don't have it off, well then I'm working. So, but that's just the day it comes out. I'll just be recording it earlier in the week. So yeah, I will try to always have Splatoon 2 every week, and I will try as often as possible to have 1 episode some point during the week, no set day, have Pokemon Platinum going. That's the plan, at least. And I have everything set up. I'm not set up yet for Splatoon 2. Obviously, that's going to be on the Switch, so I had to get a capture card that should be here in a couple days of recording this. Supposed to come in here on Tuesday. Then I can install it. I can do a test run. I might record a short video for the test run for the Switch, so I can test recording it and put out a little bit of something. Just kind of in the meantime until the Splatoon 2 demo Splatfest. Was it Splatfest, or I'm forgetting the name. I think it's Splatfest. Whatever. The special events that they're doing next Friday, or is it next Saturday? Actually, I think it's next Saturday, or this would technically be this Saturday because I'm doing this on a Sunday. Regardless, I'll be recording that as well when that happens. And that'll basically be like the preliminary video for it, and then I'll record the actual game once I get the game, and start putting stuff out on Saturdays after that. So yeah, that's the plan. Hopefully I can stick to it as much as possible. Again, Platinum will be the one that will suffer if I can't do 2 videos a week, which will probably happen in multiple weeks. But I'm still committed to finishing this series, especially. Stuff like Civ 5, I can take my time on that. I can always come back to that later, and honestly, I might actually just cut Civ 5 because I've been enjoying Civ 6 so much more than Civ 5. So it's just so much better, honestly. But other series, I can always go back to some other time, or I might just move on to other things. Who knows? But this I want to finish because I like this Nuzlocke and I like my team, I want to finish it. I love the game. So yeah. So I suppose we should actually get into the game proper here. I've basically just kind of paused the recording during all of this. I actually don't even have the recording running right now. So I shall start the recording back up, and we shall get to the actual post-commentary of the game now that I've kind of gotten the update over with. I didn't really want to create a separate update video because that just would have taken even longer and just made more of a mess, but whatever. So here we go. So, first thing off, after running around for a few seconds, I'll be opening up the menu here. Come on. This was basically the period where I was like updating everyone on the stuff for the time that this video was made. Come on, open up the menu. I know you want to. You do it eventually. There we go. Nope, yeah, there we go. Come on, you went back out. Go back in. There we go. Good pass, pilot. To review the team, because it had already been quite a while since I had previously played it when we done this. And now it's been like an extra year. So, yeah, we need to kind of review the team and remember what exactly everyone could do. So starting out with Confetti, the Togepi, obviously with Serene Grace, Rash Nature, and... There we go. Moveset: Metronome, Sweet Kiss, Charm, and Growl. Maggie with Thundershock, Tackle, Sonic Boom, and Metal Sound. There we go. Bayou with Water Gun, Tackle, Mudslap, and Growl. I don't know how long that Sarana, Bite, Astonish, Leech Life, and Supersonic. I don't know how long I lingered on each of these. Nah, Rock Smash, Tackle, Rollout, and Defense Curl. Butter is with Confusion, Poison Powder, Stun Powder, and Sleep Powder. All those powder moves because it has, I know I go too over to the ability. There we go. Compound Eyes. Boost the accuracy, making those powder moves so much better. Yeah, I didn't know how long I lingered on each Pokemon. I remember I was talking more about the whole Compound Eyes thing there. I didn't really realize how long I was going to linger on each one, so it's kind of like, do I just wait? Like, do you have to say this super quickly because I'm going to immediately go to the next one? Post-recording is very hard for this sort of thing. This is why I prefer live recording, because it just matches up perfectly. And why I was dreading having to do this for so long. It's hard. Oh, behold. I don't even remember what I was saying at this point. But we do have to go look around a few things around Jubilife that have opened up now that I've got the first badge. Namely, this whole area in the southwest corner. The way you look, you're obviously a trainer. Can you tell me what type of Pokemon you like? Well, Fairy doesn't exist yet. Steel and Ghost are an option. So that pretty much leaves Water, which is admittedly one of my other favorite types. Just a little bit lower on the list than those other three. And I'm going to pick it eventually here. A person that likes the water type must be somewhat cool. But beware of being drained dry by something. Like grass types, basically. Drained dry by plants. It's just another reminder about how the triangle of the starter types works for weakness and resistance. Or at least for weakness. A Pikachu through a trade from somewhere in the world. It grows quickly, so its level goes up quickly too, but it doesn't always listen to me. That's because I only have one gym badge. We don't always have an easy time, but he's still my irreplaceable partner. Obviously talking there about the fact that Pokemon disobey you if they are too high a level. I believe it's also only with traded Pokemon after a certain point in the series, but I don't remember when that changed. We come from faraway land. I come see the Pokemon I trade. I worry if it's growing properly. Broken English, foreigners. So, I look at Pokemon I get from friend and trade. It make me remember my friend. It's a little heartwarming there. We have foreigners here because this whole section of the city is for the GTS. So, I trade Pokemon with people around the world through a Wi-Fi connection. Just hearing that gives my heart. I didn't even get the chance to read it. When you connect with people and a Wi-Fi connection, it's hard to tell if the world's big or small. Yeah, it's a wonderful Wi-Fi connection that no longer works because the TS wireless services have been shut down by a long time now. Of course, there's this weird section up here by the GTS building. I have no idea why that's up there. There wasn't any items there. It's just there. For some reason. So into the global terminal, I believe this is what this is called. And we're just here to talk to one person. Hi, have you visited the dress-up studio yet? Have you put yours on exhibit, or do you only look at other entries? Whether you're an exhibitor or viewer, I have a backdrop for you. And I obtained the wrench. And put the wrench in the fashion case. Backdrop for using in Jubilee's TV's room, like dress-up room. That's literally the only thing I came in here for, is just that, because you can get extra backgrounds from that gal. And yeah, it's called the Global Terminal. Yeah, everything else in that building, worthless. Even if the Wi-Fi connection was still going, it's a ROM, so couldn't use it anyways. Back to Jubilee TV we go, because there's something I wanted to do. But first, the lottery corner. Felicity, your attendant today. If you draw a number matches the ID of your Pokemon, you can win fabulous gifts. And of course, we draw a number, see if we get lucky. I'll check it 08863, and it doesn't match. So, wah, wah, didn't get anything. But we came up here to go back to the left. It's over there. A little farther. There we go. Now this room. Ooh, your Pokemon are so very charming. How enchanting. They're so charming, I'll even hang a picture of one right beside me. I'm only doing this especially for you. Exciting, don't you think? Dress up your Pokemon in my boudoir and make it a sight to behold. I think it's boudoir? Boudoir? I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce that word, to be honest. I will snap a photo when you're done. You will do this, won't you? Oh, yes, how nice. Shall I explain to you how to dress a Pokemon? No. Ooh, I wonder what dress Pokemon you'll dress up. Why? Obviously, Maggie is our starter. Togepi's my favorite Pokemon, and it's so freaking cute. Obviously. I hope you'll dress it up adorably. I don't know what sort of voice I can give to that sprite that would make Tee-hee-hee sound right, but I can't think of one. I knew of him, the fact that it did a Tee-hee-hee before I started recording this, because I reviewed the episode. And I did at least remember some of the things I talked about, but yeah, I don't know what sort of voice you could possibly ever give to that person that would make that sound right. So looking at some of the various backgrounds, City at Night is actually one of my favorites there, but Flower Patch is a bit more fitting for a eventual fairy type in Togepi, because it's so cute and joyous. That makes sense. And looking through the different accessories that we don't have much. Of course, it goes immediately for the mustache. Because, why not? Yeah, I don't have a whole lot. Basically, just the mustaches, some fluffs of a few colors, and a couple, like, feathers, and that's it. You don't start with very much. You can get more as the game goes on. But, like, right now, there's, like, nothing. So not a huge amount I can do. And obviously I'm going to be fiddling with this for a while. Just trying to figure out, how do I want to place this? It's like, oh, feathers don't look very good on top of the Togepi, so how about I move Togepi to the side and put the feathers behind it? Because of course it's how the objects are layered is dependent upon which one you last moved. Because the one that you move immediately goes to the top layer. Whereas, the last one you moved is farthest back. So it can be a little bit tricksy to get things to work. And obviously, if you stick it on top of the Pokemon, then it sticks to the Pokemon as it did there. So it took me a little bit to kind of figure out how I want to do that. Eventually decided, put the puff onto Togepi first, because I was having trouble getting the puff and the feathers to work the way I wanted it to. Then move Togepi on top of the feathers, then put the little mustache on, which is technically underneath its mouth. Because the mouth is so close to Togepi's eyes. But we can just pretend that it's like a little red nose or something. Or that it has a mustache beard. It's Pokemon all dressed up, yes indeed. Or like to save this design, yes indeed. I think it didn't register the first time I pressed it or something. Ooh, nice work. Let's display that photo right there. Oh, but it needs to have a title. And I obviously had to take a second to figure out what I wanted to do here. And eventually settled on happiness. Just seemed to be fitting since Togepi is the joy Pokemon. So it's a Pokemon all about bringing joy to people. So it fits. And take another look at it. Siona, happiness. So cute. And back on out we go. Just wanted to do that real quick. And immediately, hello, you weren't there before. An interviewer. Hello, I'm with Jubilife TV. May I hit you up with a quick interview? Thank you very much. Let's not waste any time. May I have your comment on a finished photograph? I completely screwed up saying that, but whatever. So yes, more menus. Took me a little bit to figure out what I wanted to say here. I think it went at least a little bit quicker. And of course, I settled on anime. Everything is anime. If you can't figure out what to say, anime. I just thought it would be kind of funny. That picture is so anime. Of course, I went over to the TV to see if it actually was already playing, and it's not yet. I have no idea if it'll even still remember when I go back to play it now, because it's been so long, but I'll have to check up on the TV later to see if my interview is on. And as for that photograph, we'll be coming back and kind of updating it over time, whenever we happen to be dropping by Jubilife TV. And then we have to come back over here because I realized I wasn't sure if I had gotten the Poketch app that I was guaranteed to get after getting the first badge, and indeed I hadn't. So the president here gives me the new app, the Memo Pad. Install the Memo Pad onto the Poketch app, or onto the Poketch. Yeah, screwing over my words again. Installed it onto the Poketch. There we go. And just testing it out there with a little hi and a little CP. Obviously you can erase it as well. It's not that useful. This can be a little useful when you jot down like a super quick note, but I'm just going to stick to the Pokemon screen because that is actually really, really useful, and the Memo Pad, not so much. So on we go for our actual adventure up Route 204. It's pretty short route, and we've obviously already explored half of it, but there's still the upper half to go before we get to Floroma Town. And I had stopped here because I have been saying Floroma Town in the previous episodes. I had been getting that wrong for 9 years up to the point of recording this episode. Obviously it's now been 10 years since this game's been out. Yeah, for 9 years I thought it was Floroma Town, but nope, Floroma Town. Don't know why I thought it was Floroma. I obviously just never paid that much attention to how it was spelled, but at least now I know. So switching Pokemon around, I put Serana in the back because it was the highest level. And then off we go. Back up into, I'm forgetting the name of this cave, Ravaged Path, right? That's what it was. And before I could even get to a rock, encounter with a Psyduck. Psyduck. And out comes confetti. I remember this battle being stupid. Metronomes, it's the only attack on this Togepi. Critical hit. And a freaking scratch, critical hit on my Togepi. Doom Desire. That's what happened. Yeah, in the original recording, I didn't know what Doom Desire was. I had never seen the move before, and I was concerned that it might be one of those ones that knocks you out and then knocks your opponent out. So it was like, I don't know what this does. I'm afraid of it. Let's go out to Maggie and just use it to kill this Psyduck. So I'm thinking of like a slightly different battle. It was more the stupid battle between Confetti and Psyduck. Maybe it was one of those that happened in the previous episode, because I did watch through that episode again as well. Yeah, obviously Doom Desire, Jirachi. I just didn't know at that point. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just like another version of Future Sight. So it would have completely destroyed that Psyduck eventually, but just got the battle over with more quickly with Maggie anyways. So over here we have an item. Should be a TM, and it is Sunny Day. Not very useful. Obviously the TMs that are in all the TM balls in this randomizer are all the same ones that you would normally get. because I did a fairly mellow randomization for this series, if you remember back from the beginning series. Bidoof. In future series, I will be doing things a bit differently. I've already done some testing on black and white, and the sort of randomization I would like to do there. Oh yeah, this was the stupid battles, actually, with Bidoof. Yeah, getting that move off of Metronome, and then having a Metronome again, and this time I get Shadow Punch, which doesn't affect Bidoof, because it's normal type. Metronome again! And Dragon Rush. There we go. Nice, good move. That leaves it with 1 HP. It flinched it, at least, but I was like, seriously? You couldn't knock it out with that Dragon Rush? Luckily, we get Pursuit, and just knock it out with that. Yeah, Ian, like I've been trying out some different randomization options, in part because the randomizer is so much better now. Like it probably would, I don't think it would likely have the same problem that this version does, which is, there's kind of talking about, make sure you have a different type variety, otherwise you're gonna have a problem. But yeah, in this randomized game, there's an issue where the normal Pokemon still show up on top of the original Pokemon, the randomized Pokemon, and that creates an issue. And so it's kind of hard to know, like, what is randomized, what isn't. So that, I think, has been solved at this point. It might have just been a thing with Platinum anyways. But the randomization options are so much better than they used to be. There's so many more options, including the option to randomize moves so that, like the learn sets of Pokemon, but not have it be completely random, so that you generally learn moves of your type, but every so often might learn some other random move. And that can make things more fun while still not making things too unpredictable, which was the problem that I had with randomized movesets. So yeah, obviously taking Togepi out here against this Ladybug. I don't remember exactly why. I think I just wanted something else to battle it rather than rely on Metronome. And just knock it out quicker. So I went to Gnaw for Rollout because it's a bug type. I don't remember if it's bug flying or not, but it is definitely at least a bug type. But of course it confused me, but Rollout killed it anyways, so not that big of a deal. Unfortunately, I also had a Spearow, which I had to get through as well. And since I was rolling out, I'm stuck rolling out for the foreseeable future, and I'm confused and hurt myself in confusion, because of course I do. So I roll out again, because flying type, very easy to knock out, keeps slowing my attack. I'm confused, but I break through. However, thanks to all those attack lowering moves, I don't do that much, but I step out, roll out again, and still not quite kill it because of those stupid attack drops. Luckily, the next rollout hits, and I'm good. Good thing that rollout hit too, because otherwise, possibility I might have died there. So that's a little closer than really should have been. I'm moving on to get this item, which is a Pokeball. Not as good as the Ultra Ball that we had found earlier, but hey, we're gonna get that Pokeball eventually as well, because I'm pretty sure I did the same thing with the normal items as I did with the TMs, where they all just, swapped around. They weren't actually randomized. In future Nuzlocks, they've also updated, the randomization of items as well, so you have a bit more control over TMs that are randomized, which is something I'll be doing as well as items that are randomized, so certain items, useless items that don't show up. Another trainer battle. What does this guy have? I honestly don't remember this one. Bonsley, yeah, that's right. You had two Bonsley. It was like, well, Bonsley, yep, by you. No question. That one's obvious. Yeah. Copycat failed because I didn't do anything, and just water gun it into oblivion. Both of them into oblivion, really. So the randomization options have gotten so much better that I do think I'll go a little bit more all out with future randomizers. And black and white is the one I'm planning to do after this. I do want to come back and do a platinum randomized Nuzlocke again at a later date that has more stuff randomized, but I won't do that until after I've done black and white, Heart Gold to Silver, and black to white too, because I want to do those first. And as of right now, I can't do the 3DS games, so and I don't ever plan on doing Gen 3 and earlier. So like I only have like 4 sets of games to choose from: Platinum, Heart Gold to Silver, black and white, and black to white too. That's it. And I could play Diamond and Pearl when I have Platinum as an option. So yeah, I'm gonna be a little bit limited on the randomized Nuzlocke front, but I can always go back and like revisit previous games with different randomizations, which can make things interesting. Although for like all the foreseeable randomized Nuzlocks, I'm going to continue the whole legend thing, legend rule that I have, where only the legendaries get changed into legendaries, and I have to catch them but can't use them, because I think that's a little bit more balanced. And these twins. We can one-shot this trainer, can't we, Liz? We're the strongest in our class. Well, you're preschoolers. Of course, in actuality, they're senior and junior, Zoe and Kim. Yeah! Monferno and Medicham. This battle. A psychic fighting and a fire fighting, and I'm leading with a normal type and a steel type. Not a good matchup. Now, I should note that both of these young lasses, I believe, let's see here, level 14 is when you can evolve into Monferno, and level 37 is when you can evolve into Medicham. Both dirty rotten cheaters! Now, I'm not entirely sure how the movesets of these two work. Obviously here, I'm trying to figure out, like, what am I going to do here? Because I have 2 Pokemon that could be destroyed by these, and I didn't know yet what sort of moves are these guys going to have. I was trying to decide, like, is Medicham stronger or Monferno stronger? Who would I want to charm first? I wanted to keep Confetti out because at least had some decent defenses, and try to charm these guys to lower their attack because they're both attackers. I was trying to think, well, Monferno seems a bit more threatening. In actuality, I don't know the specific numbers, but I think Medicham is worse. Medicham has lower attack, but it has pure power, which doubles it. So I'm pretty sure Medicham comes out on top of Monferno here, in terms of attack power, but I didn't know that at the time, so I ended up going for Monferno because it seemed more threatening to me, especially since it was also fire type. And I just know that Monferno is, the whole entire Fernate line is scary. Maggie is like, Sonic Boom was a possibility. Like, I could keep it out and try Sonic Booming, but Monferno was scaring me, and I was double checking, like, how much damage does Sonic Boom do again? 20. And I didn't even realize at the time, this is like one bit of audio that did survive. It had 90 accuracy too, so even if I had gone that route, it does not necessarily have worked. So I was trying to look through my other guys, like, who can I possibly put out here? It's like, I can't put out Serana because Medicham is also Psychic type and Poison. Bayou I could put out. It would have been, relatively, fine against both of them. And I believe that is actually the one I put out. I don't remember. No, actually, I think I ended up going with Butters instead, because I could have put out Bayou, but Bayou wouldn't have been able to do that much beyond Water Gun, which Water Gun obviously would have taken care of Monferno, but wasn't sure, like, what would it do against the Medicham. Because Medicham has alright defenses. It looks like it's all about the same. So I was thinking Butters, while it would be weak, obviously, I wouldn't have been able to do that much, and it would have been weak. And Serana would have been weak to the Psychic. Butters, while it would have been weak to the fire type attacks of Monferno, it would resist any fighting type attacks that either of them do. Because it, well, actually, I don't remember, is Bug resistant? Let me check the type chart here. Somewhere here. I'm looking through the book. Does Bug resist fighting? It does, so it would have been quad resistant to any fighting type moves that would have gone into Butters. And it has Confusion, Obviously, we're just doing normal damage to Medicham because it's also Psychic type. And Psychic is a Psychic, from what I remember. Let me check that as well. Psychic, resist Psychic, yeah. And there's the Medicham's attack rising. It's like, that's scary. And obviously Ember onto Butters, but it doesn't do that much because Butters is a fully evolved Pokemon and very strong at this point. See, there's my attack off on the Monferno. Yep, while Butters is weak to Fire-type moves, it has very good defenses for this point in the game. So I was thinking about it again, it's like, okay, who do I want to do now? I'm thinking probably the Medicham. I will be doing, moving last with Confetti, but it just raised its attack, so let's lower that back down again. And then Confusion onto one of the two. I believe I went after Monferno first because he had already done it, or I might have gone, no, I think I went Sleep Powder on Monferno first because I wasn't sure if a Confusion would one-shot it or not. Wasn't 100% sure. So I just wanted to put it to sleep just to make sure it couldn't get any more damage off onto Butters. That's what I ended up going for. Onto Monferno, and I hit with it because Compound Eyes. Yeah, in reality, I don't know how the randomizer determines attacks for my specific randomization, especially since this is an old randomizer that goes meditating again, so Confetti will bring its attack back down to neutral. But in more recent ones, it does take into account Pokemon's starting moves as possibilities for its moves if it's low level. Otherwise, it will just have it'll just have like the four most recent moves it would learn for its level, and like if there's aren't four, it will stupid detect, getting annoying there. Confusion onto Monferno, that's asleep, and it doesn't quite one-shot it, which is what I was afraid of, and then wakes up because of course it does. Would have been better just confusioning twice. But at least now I know that Butters can knock out the Monferno there. As I go for Sweet Kiss onto Medicham to confuse it. Now that its attack is back to neutral, but use Confusion on the Monferno. But yeah, the attacks here, Medicham at level 11 will know Detect, Meditate, both the moves that it's used, and I don't know why it never used it, but Confusion. Should have known Confusion. As if it did take into account starting moves, it should have known one of skipping repeat moves, Bide, Ice Punch, Thunder Punch, or Fire Punch. Any of those would have been troublesome. Luckily, it never seemed to use any of those. In fact, it never even used the Confusion, as you'll see in the rest of this battle here. So I'm not sure why it never attacked. It just never did. I'm thankful for that, but yeah. And Monferno luckily did not have a fighting type move yet. At level 11, it only knew Taunt, Ember, with the possibility of Leer and Scratch if it took into account base moves. But no matter what, this Medicham should have had Confusion, and just that never used it. It's the possibility that I might have been trying to use it there, but it's kind of hard to know. And then on this next move, I know that it was going for Detect, because it was moved first. So Detect has increased priority, just like Protect, but it hurt itself in Confusion, so it didn't work, and then I just confused it to death. So I managed to get through that. That was a very, very stressful battle going to that, because that could have been so much worse if they had just been a few levels higher, right? If, Medicham ever used Confusion. And here I pick up Yawn, replace Growl with it, because Growl just lowers attack by 1 stage, and Charm lowers it by 2, and they're both 100% accurate. So I might as well bring in Yawn, because that can be useful. And I managed to get through. It was a very, very stressful battle, because I didn't know, I wasn't, looking at the learn sets of the Pokemon at the time, in part because I didn't know how the moves that they would have worked. This trainer will brag about beating us, Liz. This trainer is really happy about beating us, Liz. Well, I am happy about beating you, because you're a bunch of dirty, rotten cheaters, but I'm not exactly going to be bragging about beating a couple of cheating preschoolers. Although I suppose I might, because you did cheat, so... And here we have a nice little Cricketut. Use Metronome against it, and Camouflage! This took an unusually long amount of time. I was like, what was going on here? It's like no animation for this thing. But yeah, I turned it into a grass type when finding a bug type. And I was just like, you know what? I don't want to do this. Let's just run. I'm a grass type now, up against a bug. No, thank you. And this Pokeball has TM89 U-turn, a very nice TM to get. Obviously I haven't really used any of my TMs yet, because I don't want to save them up for when I really need them. But now we are in Floroma Town. Going up to the Pokemon Center to heal and fast forward through this. You see that good old fast forward button. I honestly need to do a bit more of that next time I record, to help get through some of the slower parts of the game, or slower aspects of the game, like entering a battle and exiting a battle and stuff like that, because it's just so slow. New engine, they're pushing the DS to its limits, and then pushed it even farther to its limits in Black and White, although they had a better idea of how to utilize the system at that point. So, yeah, it was so slow. Talking about the whole hill coming into bloom, and someone gave their thanks for what they had. It's like, oh, I wonder what Pokemon that could have been that did that. Hill and being in such awful shape, trying to plant flowers, but nothing would take. Yeah, I wonder. Especially when there's that other gal that was talking about Gracidea flowers. And here we get our first berries. Exchange berries for accessories to dress up your Pokemon. So yeah, there's one of the ways to get accessories to dress stuff up. But first we ended up going to the mart. I did forget about that. Welcome, what do you need? I honestly should have grabbed the berries first, because I grabbed a few redundant things in the Pokemon here. Picked up a potion, I believe, or just one. Skipped those super potions because they're a bit expensive for now. And then picked up one of all the status stuffs, because you never know what you face, and well, one of everything except the antidote, which I already had 3 of. Because you never know what you're going to face, and you want to be prepared. Should have skipped out on the ice heal and I believe, paralyzed heal, because we're going to be getting a couple berries that do the exact same thing here in a moment. But it just means that I'll use up the medicine first and let the berries grow. I also pick up one Repel, because having at least one Repel on you can be incredibly useful if you're in a bind. I just need to get through an area to heal or something, get to a Pokemon Center without running into anything. Especially if the things you're running into are things that can wreck you. Or very scary things like Wobbuffets. So here we pick up a Cherry Berry. And I believe the one on the left is in Oran. Remember correctly? Yes, in Oranberry. 2 very useful berries. Orange especially, because that will give us some healing. And nope, not Pokemon. Bag. Go down and bag. Look at those berries. Cherry Berry. I didn't remember what it had done at the time, but yep, it may be used to recover from paralysis, which makes those paralyzed heals we bought, a little bit more useless. But we have to plant the berry anyways, so. And then we grab an orange berry as well, and I just immediately go ahead and, well, not immediately replant them, but say go inside first to grab. Trainer, please water the berries using the spray duck watering can. The spray duck. Yeah, we'll need that to actually water them so that they'll grow. And talk to this gal to get another berry to plant. 51, there'll be more in the world. I hope you'll help us spread more berries everywhere. Get the Asper Berry, which, when I eventually go to look at that, allows you to defrost Pokemon. So same thing as an Ice Heal, recover from frozen condition. And back out I go. And start planting those berries. Obviously plant the orange berry, and I plant the cherry berry too, because paralysis is a bit more likely to come across. Frozen very rarely ever happens. It's just good to have a few of those around. And then water them. They're all happy. I love that. I've always loved that little line when watering plants in Gen 4. And they're all happy. Those little seedlings are so happy now that you've watered them. Don't know. I just went back in there accidentally, I think. I simply love it here. I didn't even bother reading it. Get drawn here by the sweet smell of honey. Seriously, what's that? What am I? A Pokemon or something? Honey. I like that one. And these strange blue-haired fellows that seem familiar. Aqua Team Galactic staying on flowers. This doesn't seem all that cool. Hey now, don't complain. This is a pretty decent assignment. But bugging your that Pokemon creep me out so much. I don't like being here either. So yeah, a couple little fellers we're gonna have to deal with next time. I still like this little path that they made through the flowers. It's like it's such a roundabout way to go to the areas. Like it's kind of cute that they put that there. So like most people would take that little path through the flowers, but of course we can just walk straight through them without issue. And then checking this little house. Some kinds of Pokemon appear only when they're attracted by the sweet scent of honey. We're gonna be doing that next episode too. Pokemon must have a cute sense of smell. They can sense the aroma of honey from very far away. Yeah, we'll have to be able to get honey Pokemon. So that'll be interesting. And then back in the Pokemon Center I go to end off the vid. So, yeah, that was quite an ordeal trying to re-record this. And I'll probably just pause the video at this point to give my own little farewell here. Yeah, obviously, it has been a long time since I've recorded anything, but it will be nice to get back into the swing of things. Next time we'll be going over to Flamora Meadow, and seeing what's up over there and trying to figure out what those grunts are there for. And also be grabbing a very special Pokemon. Our first static encounter, which isn't really a static encounter. Yeah, obviously, I do want to talk about this real quick here. When I originally started this Nuzlocke, I didn't know about the static encounter rule, which is a very, very common rule done pretty much every Nuzlocke, where if a Pokemon is just standing there, it counts as a static encounter and doesn't count against your counter for the area. I didn't know about that back then. That's why I made the whole legendary rule. That granted, part of that legendary rule is that they only get, those are the only legendaries in the game, and all legendaries get changed into legendaries. So, go up to fight Giratina, and then fight a Caterpie, and then go on a route and run into a random Arceus, I wanted the legends to be legends, and them to be the only legends, essentially. But part of that whole rule / clause, the whole clause part of it, was the fact that they didn't count as encounters for their areas. And that was because I didn't have the static encounter rule or clause. I still don't have that. I'm going to stick to my original rules, where the static encounters don't count separately. They count as encounters for those areas. That means the Drifloon that shows up on Friday in the Valley Windworks, that will still be there. No, obviously this will be there, but that will count as an encounter if I choose to take that one. And I will be taking that one because if I'm going to get a counter over there, I might as well take the slightly more special one. No idea what it'll turn into, obviously. We'll find that out. And that'll also mean I'm going to have to, at minimum, change the date to Friday, or else record the next episode on Friday. Kind of see how that works out. I do have Friday off, so I might just outright wait until Friday to record it. Probably be a good day to do that. So yeah, when I go to face that will count as my encounter for the Valley Windworks. Just heads up, because I don't have static encounter clause. Luckily, that's not going to be a big issue for this game, because there aren't a lot of static encounters that aren't legendaries. In fact, in most games, most static encounters are legendaries. But in some, there are a fair few that aren't. Gen 5 is a great example of that, especially Black 2 White 2. But I'm going to stick with the rules I started with. No static encounter clause, except for the legendaries. If I ever, when I do eventually come back and do a different Randomized Nuzlocke, I'll be changing that. So I'll get 2 encounters in the Valley Windworks. 1 for Drifloon, 1 for the actual area. But I just wanted to get that mentioned here, and I'll briefly re-mention it next episode as well. But yeah, kind of good to be back. that will be it for this episode, though. This one will have ran quite long, especially far longer than what the actual recording was, because I had to do the whole update beginning and then this little extra outro. But yeah, I'll get back into the swing of things, start recording new episodes. And I will see you guys next time.